when people say, when do you start public relations? I always say today, because if you have your business, you have a website, you're active on social media, you have clients ready to be accepted, then you're ready for public relations. If you don't have a product yet, or a book or a business, you're not ready yet. So that website, that social media, and that I'm working on this is what I focus on in order to secure press coverage to help my clients grow their brand and reach new audiences.
Yeah, and I think for some areas, because we before, when we talk about this recording, you also mentioned me that some areas, some clients, I think they need to do their checking beforehand so that they come prepared, right? So maybe it's a good idea to check in with you before releasing a product or starting pitching it, to see what they should do beforehand.
100%, because if you are in touch with a public relations professional, that public relations professional will give you those tips. They'll, there are things you may not have thought about in your outreach. But if your item, book, service is not ready,
yes,
it doesn't mean you can't start talking about it, because we all know it takes time before press appears. The only press that appears overnight is breaking news. At this time, I'm not working with any clients that have breaking news. I have in the past, but at this point, I'm not. If you have breaking news, sure, we could dive in this minute because it's part of the hard news cycle. And if you're watching television, for example, or you're reading a newspaper, you're seeing that breaking news, hard news, is taking up most of the space. We're in a situation in the world right now where things are happening. They're happening fast, and the news crews are covering that. So for people who have businesses that are not related to breaking news, that's where I come in. And therefore, it might take time. There could be an interview that happens today, but it won't run for 3 months. I have a client who months ago, we secured the interview for a magazine. The magazine was supposed to come out about a few weeks ago when the editor reached out and said, I'm bumping it to the next issue. I said, oh, why? She says, I'm giving you the cover. Oh. Whoa, cover of the magazine, 100%, bump my client to the next issue. So we should be getting that issue in our hands in the next few days to be able to say, okay, we're on the cover of this magazine. But magazines are oftentimes monthly, which means they're working on their holiday gift guide issues in July. They're working on Healthy Heart Month, which is February. They're working that in November. In November, December, the March, April issues are covering swimwear and summer season. So glossy magazines, you have to plan in advance. And others, they might do an interview and it might appear tomorrow or next week. But even in today's busy podcasting world, it can be a number of weeks or months before the interview might appear. I had a client that did an entrepreneurial interview on a podcast last week, and we were informed it will appear in a minimum of 3 months because there's a backlog. So it all depends. But I'm the one making sure the information is given to that journalist, whether it's a professional journalist or a homegrown journalist. I make sure all the T's are crossed, all the I's are dotted, so that my client is portrayed in the best light possible with the best information to highlight their business, that they see a benefit from participating in that press interview.